That's my slogan, people over politics. And the campaign message or the theme is the 3 Ps: the president, the party, and the people. The people form a party, and the party elects a president who becomes a candidate in the general elections. This is not on, please. What else? Then you're saying this who is not set? Media.
You can proceed, we are okay. You can proceed what?
Can you cancel the ambulance, please? And no more one coming to know on the message and you say you're disturbing me now. Please, let's be specific, and all this was said before. You can be answered. Let's be serious. My campaign message is the 3 Ps: the party, the president, the party, and the people. The people form a party that elects the president who becomes the torchbearer during general elections. And my campaign slogan is people over politics. Antu pasogolo ndale pambuyo, vantu pantazi ndiale kumanyuma. And I've got 7 campaign messages. The first one is, when voted into NEC positions, the whole team, including myself, we shall initiate change of the Malawi Congress Party's constitution to introduce policy conferences. These are policy conferences that will be held a year before an elected conference known as convention. The purpose is that these policy conferences, it will draw people from the industry, technocrats, and also the party people, the party members. The idea is for these conferences to look and analyze at master plans for various government departments, ministries, and parastatals, and look at how these master plans can be enhanced, can be improved so as to fast-track their implementation. So whatever comes out of the policy conference will form or will inform the manifesto of the party during the general elections. So the manifesto of the party will come from the outcomes of the policy conferences that will discuss various issues, be it agriculture, education, health, defense, mining, tourism, etc. So we want to introduce policy conferences which will analyze government agenda in the long term. The second campaign message is investment plan for the party. We want the party to have investments that can generate income which can be used to run the party. At the moment, we rely on individuals to finance party activities. It creates people that become bigger than the party, or they try to call the shots. We have seen it before, not in this government, but previously we have seen that. And again, it breeds corruption because running the party is not an easy task financially. So we need to create investments and create transparency in financing of party activities. And as such, the party will be bigger than everyone else because it will have its own resource base. With those resources, the National Executive Committee can run its operations, the regional committee can run its operations, the district committees can run their operations. They don't have to wait for somebody to donate something. They don't have to wait to beg for money from anyone else, but because they'll have resources to run their party affairs at their level. The third is empowerment of the secretariat. Once the investments have taken shape, we'll need to stop this issue of a Secretary General, Treasurer General, Director of Women, Director of Youth, provincial chairpersons from holding public positions. They should focus on the party affairs. It is a challenge for them to double as an MP, as a minister, and as SG, or as regional chairman, or as Secretary General, because the party suffers in the long run. I'll borrow, if you remember at the time of UDF, the SGs were never given public positions, as an example locally. But if you go to Tanzania, You go to Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF, SWAPO in Namibia, Botswana, BDP, ANC, Frelimo. It's the way I'm explaining, whereby key party position holders are not allowed to hold public positions. They focus on strengthening the party so that the party can grow and move forward. Introduction of Veterans League. Akuru ni damba muzimila moto. And sometimes we've got wrangles, we've got issues. We need to go back to them and say, how did you go around this? How can we go about this? They become the elders and advisors of the party. Stakeholder engagement strategy. I want to emphasize this point. You see, Malawi at the moment is suffering from a disease called short-termism. Short-termism. Every party that is elected, it looks at the 5 years it is in power, period. It will never look at Vision 2063, Vision 2040 or whatever, because they are looking at 5 years. So you find that the national agenda is limited to the 5 years which they know for sure they will be in power. As a result, our plans, our development agenda suffers from short-termism. We need to create a stakeholder engagement strategy whereby people like traditional chiefs are the custodians of long-term plans, because chiefs are there for life. They can be the custodians of our long-term strategy. When National Planning Commission is formulating its agenda, let them use chiefs as some of the custodians, because they'll know what government need to achieve in the next 20 years, 30 years. Because political parties focus on the 5 years. What can we do tangible in 5 years so that 2025 we are voted into power, 2030 we're back in power. But we need to have long-term plans. Some of them cannot have bearing now or on the electorate now, but as a country, they will benefit the country in the long term. So we need to have an engagement strategy, come up with a structure that there are some people who are custodians of long-term plans as a medication to short-termism. That's why in other countries where the economies are doing well, first-born child of every paramount chief, of every TA or sub-TA, their education is taken care of by the government, because they want the chiefs to be educated. They organize development conferences for chiefs, strategic sessions for chiefs, because they're custodians of long-term plans. Those are the things we need to start discussing as Malawians to run away from short-termism that is tied to 5 years of presidential term. So we need to have a stakeholder engagement strategy. At the same time as well, I believe there are 3 types of governments: political government, formed by political parties; religious government, formed by the church, the religious community; and traditional government, but the leaders of our communities, the chiefs. These 3 need to move together. If they don't, we'll never go far. We need to have a clear stakeholder engagement strategy as a party. How do we engage the chiefs? How do we engage the traditional leaders, the religious leaders, as well as the youth and the women, so we move together as we move forward. As a party, we cannot afford to leave these people, groups of people, outside our agenda. Number 6 on the same is institute or start a deliberation to change some parts of the Constitution of Malawi Congress Party when as far as the elective conference, so-called the convention, is concerned. Either NEC must be dissolved during campaign period, or the powers of NEC must be restricted to administrative issues only, because we don't have a vacuum. But any substantive matter must not be handled at NEC, must be pended until after convention. I'm saying this because I have suffered a lot, because some position holders intimidate my team, intimidate the people that are working with me, being called names, being told they'll be expelled from the parties, others being denied opportunities just because they are competing with me. We don't want that. people are abusing their positions during campaign. So we want to have a free and fair elections whereby we compete as mayor members, not where someone is just a member and one is holding a position and they use the position wrongly to intimidate others. At the same time, we need to amend our constitution to have a midterm convention whereby we review the 2.5 years we have been in positions, as well as how do we move forward, so that we have 2 conventions every 5 years. This is just a review convention, not elective one, but just to review. These conventions that take place every 5 years, they're always hot, emotional, because they're elective. People want to fight. People are fighting for positions. But this midterm review convention will be a sober one, because there's no fighting for positions. It's just a matter of looking at the party affairs. The last one is creating a conducive environment for NEC. This is whereby we're trying to bang heads and come up with a conducive environment for NEC, so that other position holders should not override others in terms of functioning in the party. I've seen it myself, we have seen it all, that sometimes some people try to override other people's responsibilities. They try to be bigger than their own, and we move forward. But my key interest, myself as Vitumbiko Mumba, is the ATM strategy, agriculture, tourism and mining, which the HE launched. As Malawi, we are an agri-based economy. We don't behave like one. We need to start behaving like an agri-based economy, whereby we put emphasis on agriculture and exporting. In Saudi Arabia, every Ramadan, they require 21 million chickens per day. 21 million chickens per day. They get from New Zealand, Senegal, Brazil, Argentina, various countries. Our neighbor in Zambia was given an order of 500 goats every month in Dubai. I don't know whether they're managing it. Economies that are agri-based are the future, because the population is so huge, land is scarce, people need to eat. We need to put emphasis on agriculture. We cannot talk of mega farms when most of them who are coming to do mega farms are foreigners. We need to have a way of empowering local farmers who are already farmers by giving them a chance to make mistakes, give them a chance to grow, a deliberate approach. When you look at South Africa, in the construction industry, the companies that are there, the Group 5s, Marand Robax, Robex, EDC, many companies, it was a deliberate move by government to empower them, allow them to make mistakes, to make losses. The government loses money, as long as they are growing. We can do the same with mega farms. Empower our people. Let them make mistakes. Let them make losses. Let them make profits. By and by, we'll be going towards a certain direction. Eventually, we'll have mega farms owned by Malawians. We'll be able to export to other countries where they need food. When you're in Dubai or you're in the Middle East, they sometimes, I was shocked. I'm at a restaurant, they say, the beef you are having tonight was slaughtered, the cow was slaughtered this morning at 5 a.m. in Kampala, Uganda. They've got a proper supply chain system that you find that Uganda, you're having it for dinner in Kuwait, you're having it for dinner in Bahrain. I've seen it myself. I'm like, why our friends, not us? We need to start behaving like an agri-based economy. And again, you look at tourism. Malawi is one of the, Lake Malawi is probably the 5th largest freshwater lake in the world, but we've not made good use of it. I was in Botswana for 5 years. The other time I went to Chove National Park with my wife for a weekend during Easter. Just a small stretch of Chove River. A lot of hotels, lodges. If it's Easter holiday or Christmas, President's holiday, you have to book 2 months in advance. They will be full. 100, it does not make sense. It's a destruction on its own. When you go to Botswana, the CKGR, you fly from Joburg. They have got an immigration port right in the national park. You can fly from Joburg to CKGR in Botswana. You can fly from Joburg to Moremi Game Reserve in Okavango Delta in Botswana. You can fly from Joburg direct to Chove in Kasani without going through landing in Gaborone, drive 1.4 kilometers to go to National Park. It's a distraction on its own for a tourist to fly 9 hours from America or wherever it is, and it takes 10 hours drive to go to Nika. It does not make sense. We need to invest in proper structures so that we can attract tourists. I was in Mauritius the other time with my family for holiday. I went into a submarine for tourism. I went to a sub-scooter. I went to Mauritius. What attracted me was naneso makuyotini kutungunda ngakwelepo submarine na kuchuvu kuyotini ngakwelepo sub-scooter. What attracted me was a submarine, sub-scooter. You go to Seychelles, you find them. The waters at Likoma, Cape Macleay, they are very clear with nice long-range vision. Why don't you have a submarine there for tourism, sub-scooter? It means all the people in SADC around here, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, they'll come to Malawi for submarine, for sub-scooters. And that will attract people to come and even have more time in our hotels, and the government is making money from tourism level. Mining, we have got phosphate. Presken in Chikwawa is producing potash. Now, fertilizer NPK, you need potassium, you need phosphates. We can only import nitrogen as a petrochemical to manufacture fertilizer in Malawi. We've got phosphates, we've got lithium, graphite, we've got thermal coal about 160 meters deep in Nika, but for Nika I can say no because we don't want to damage the ecotourism. But in Livingstonia, we're talking of Ankana in Chitipa and Karonga, thermal coal. We can produce electricity by burning the coal right, not mining it, but burning it right down. This technology, our friends are doing in South Africa, they're able to burn coal right deep there and produce electricity. We can do that and put it into the pool for SADC region whereby every country can tap energy from and export energy. So the ATM strategy that HE has put as one of the key things is at my heart. We can help the HE to implement the ATM strategy. And as a Christian, I believe in the Word of God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, not the world. The heavens and what? And the earth. Agriculture is about the earth. Tourism is about the earth. Mining is about the earth. I look at ATM strategy as something that is biblical as a Christian. With those remarks, thank you very much. I'm ready to take questions. Go, Joseph, you behave, huh? All right. So, there's a microphone there.
Honorable, my name is Draxon Maloya. I have a question basing on a number of factors. I was going through the write-up you have distributed and your presentation this morning, or this afternoon now. You haven't propounded much to do with energy because this very, very precious, I may call it, write-up has got a clear vision for Malawi, actually. It's a blueprint which looks very attractive. But what means of energy, power sources now? Because Malawi seems to be lacking behind in terms of energy. Every year in, year out, we are experiencing power outages, sometimes 2 days, mainly here up north. And yet north has got a lot of resources which can even be used for power generation. I want you at least to propound a little more, actually, as to what's going to happen so as to implement your vision with a clear roadmap, considering the issue to do with power generation. Thank you very much.
Let me take that one quickly. On the national agenda, if you read my manifesto, I've said that the enablers for the ATM strategy, according to my opinion, the first one is education. We need the right education. We can't be talking of mining when our students in primary school don't know anything about mining. But in Germany, in Europe, where there are no mines, they're learning about mining. So we need to have the right education from primary school to secondary school to college. Our students, our pupils from primary school must learn about energy, about mining. They must know what we're talking about. Then also about agriculture. There was, I want to mention the name of the teacher. A friend of mine was a teacher, so he retired. He wanted to start poultry farming. Now he went to Lunyangwa research station to meet the people for guidance. Now he meets his student who was the student at Rumpi Secondary School. Then he says, no, Asambizi, vila mkanisambizi ganga kurumbi vya agriculture vya ulimi wa nkuku, just go and implement the same thing. It means he was teaching theoretically, not practically. He's an agriculture teacher, may he rest in peace, but he wanted to start agriculture, poultry farming. He goes to Runyango research station to seek guidance. Yet he was teaching agriculture. Our system must be practical, must not be theoretical. So we need the right education system so that our students, you remember that time we had handicraft, we had whatever and the like, and the like, then they earn a living out of that. We need to have a practical based approach in our education system. Talking about energy, like mining requires energy. Tourism, you can't bring someone from America, then he comes here, there's blackout. You understand? We have thermal coal. There is no point putting a coal plant at Mumba in Mwanza, that side. There's no coal. You're relying on coal from Mozambique, Mwatizi. It does not make sense because you require not less than $100 million just to put up a storage facility for coal to be burned. Why not go where the coal is, as I'm talking about, Kazivizivi, Ankana, Livingstonia, and burn it to reduce the cost of mining, burn it right down there to produce electricity. That is possible. The Fufu hydropower station along South Rukuru, designs have been done, can produce over 200 megawatts. Let's implement those ones. But it requires capital. That's where now we need to work hand in hand with everybody to be able to attract people who can come as IPPs to work on the hydropower at Fufu. There's Colombia, so down south on Lake, on Shira River, there's the co bringing about all those issues on energy. Also, I spoke of on the national agenda, correctional services. You see, there are funds out there from Japan, from Sweden. If we can change the name Malawi Prison Services to Malawi Correctional Services, just that change in our constitution can bring funds to our government. Because we should move from taking a prison as a punishment area, but as a correctional facility, whereby now the people that have been admitted in the correctional facility are used as labor to learn about mega farms. You can have a prison facility in the middle of a 500-hectare farm. Then the prisoners are able to farm and feed themselves. Instead of having 1 meal a day, they're having 2-3 times meals a day because they are doing their own farming and able to raise resources from there. Thank you very much. Another question, please. Yes, Sam.
Yes, Sam kalimina kuchokera kuno ku Times. Mafuna fuso muri yankhe nchichewa chifukwa tufuna ma delegates amve bwino bwino. Fuso yamba ndonena kuti ena akunena kuti mulibe experience pankhani ya ndale. Ndiye mwina mwake mwathamangira pa udendo umenewo. Mwayankha kuti bwanji. Fuso lachiwiri ndonena kuti ndili mkati muno ena anandiuza message kufusa kuti tikumvabe kunena kuti mwina sakaloledwa amenewa kuti akayime pa mpando umenewo chifukwa chakuti malingana ndi malamulo achipanichi mmene amukhalibene ma udindo ku region kuti kuchine qualify kuti mwina mukapikisana nawo pa udindo umenewo. Ndiye ma delegates ovota ndi amene akuonera panowa. Mwauza kuti chani zikomo kwambiri.
Thank you so much, Sam. Let me just take that on before another question comes. Right, thanks. When it comes to jumping from one party that is ruling to the other, I don't have experience. When it comes to preventing other people from joining the party, I don't have that experience. When it comes from preventing others, your opponents, to contest against you because you know that things are tough, I don't have experience. When it comes to victimizing other party members because they're supporting a fellow candidate, I don't have experience. But I have experience in helping the party structures. The DCs here are my witnesses. My DC osalipano, my chair constituency, ndi mboni yanga akudziwa mene ndi matanzia chipani. Ikakarankhani yo jowa chipani cholamula chuka uchipita kuchina, experience meneyo ndilibe. Ikakarankhani yo sekereza ena mkula mchipani yanyuani kuta salowe chipani, experience meneyo ndikuti ndilibe. Anzanga inayo aunena zimene zozo and PhD yo sekereza anzao kuti asalowe mchipani. Yakarankhani yopondereza sukulu ya chipani, experience meneyo ndilibe, aunena zimene zozo ainayo mpaka na PhD level. I can go on and on. I am experienced. On the issue of Woody Sinikaima now, let them wait for 8 August. It's when they know the truth. But the delegates here, they know that. Come what may, 8 August, I'll be on the ballot. Not only on the ballot, I'll win. Because in my life, in my life, I have never lost a free and fair competition. I'm not beginning to lose now or anytime soon. I speak this with confidence. Joseph.
Thank you very much.
We are together at Pole. He was 4 years behind me.
Thank you. My name is
Joseph.
No, Wanda will answer on my behalf.
Wanda. Watole mwana kwinu karonga watole mwana oyo. All right, Joseph, please go ahead.
Thanks very much. My name is Joseph Mwara. I work with Nation Publications Limited. Just one question, basically, on the proposals that you would want to make to the Constitution. You did mention that sometimes when people double positions with public offices, it doesn't help the party. How will you relate that? Because essentially the president becomes the appointing authority. I simply want you to explain more on that one, how you would link party affairs to the services that these other people may need to serve in the government altogether. Thanks.
Right, thank you. I think I've heard your question correctly. I'll try to answer it the way I've understood it. If I've not answered it correctly, you guide me. You see, whatever I've come up in my manifesto was after doing studies, consulting, and looking at the gaps that are there in the Malay Congress Party. And the major complaint, mind you, I have visited every DC, 44 of them in their own homes. I've chatted with party members at grassroots level. So I've found that there was a disconnect. And one of the reasons is because key party position holders are mindful of retaining their seat at constituency level and not the party affairs. As a result, their effectiveness in the party is never there. It's compromised. Now, as I said earlier on in my presentation, in Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF, Chama cha Mapinduzi, Frelimo, SWAPO, Namibia, NC, South Africa, BDP, Botswana, key party position holders are not supposed to be public position holders, so that they focus on the party. But the party has got ways of raising funds to accommodate them. You find that in other countries, the Secretary General of the party receives more money than the minister. The provincial chairman receives more money than the deputy minister. So we need to embrace that and have proper way of managing them. So it's not a thing that can be done now, as I said. It's only after we've put in place proper structures in terms of investment and we start realizing enough profits, we can be able to sustain hefty payments for the key party position holders who can focus on building the party forward than defending their constituencies in the constituencies. I hope I've answered, Joseph. Thank you very much. Another question, please.
Chirundu FM Kadabe.
Ndani Chirundu Kadabe. Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
yes,
Ada,
yes.
mwauli ada.
Tumamba mweuli.
Mwako jen, mwako batala.
Iliku lelo.
Mlivi. Okay. All right.
Chabwino bwana ndifusa funsoli muchichewa. Ndikudziwa kuti mwamfundo zanu zikulu ndithu mwanyamula miyoyo ya anthu kapena mukonzekera kuthandiza anthu osati chipani ponena kuti anthu pasogolo ndale pambuyo. Komabe taonetsetsa mwina dziko lino la Malawi tikudalira kwambiri pa nkhani zokhuza ulimi ngakhale kuti mwa ena ndithu andale akhala akulankhulapo kunena kuti ulimi ndithu pasogolo komano pa ground mwina azikulephereka potengera anthu amene apanga benefit makamaka pa AIP amakhalabe ochepa. Inuyo ngati amene mwati munyamula ndithu miyoyo ya anthu mwakonzeka motani kuti alimi kapena ntchito za ulimi muzathandizire kuti zipite pasogolo mdziko lino dziko?
Okay, let me answer that one. I wasn't expecting that kind of a tricky question, but let me attempt it in this way. If I had it my way, we should have another proper way of managing and helping our farmers than AIP. Because the AIP, let's look at the results. What have been the results of AIP? We need to reflect on AIP and other interventions and see what the tipanga bwanje. As I've said, we need to start behaving like an agri-based economy. But in that statement, there are a lot of things in it, but I've chosen or elected to stop there because I don't have a position yet, I don't have any public position yet, but those are things I can elaborate better when I have some mazaza and responsibility. But the key thing is, let's start behaving like an agri-based economy. Thank you.
Zina langa ndine Wonder Msisia. Funso langa ndila ufulu wa nzipani, intra-party democracy. Anthu inuyo ndino achipani chimozi koma panopa mumenyana kwambiri. Uku kuina akaluza kwakalira kumeneko. Mupanga bwanji kuti muyambe kuchira panopa the healing process now before you even musafike siku lokaponya votiro chifukwa pali anthu angapo amene mwatengesana kwambiri muzakhalira bwanji limodzi zikatha zisankho zimene zizi ndi zimene mukuchitana panopa apa chifukwa ndani wanu panopa ndo MCP si wakunjako ya ndani wanu panopa biggest your enemy is your fellow MCP member. How are you going to start the healing process to make sure that even after the election you still one united party so that ena sazapezeke kuti at the end of the day kumene koko mwina mpaka na kutuluka chipani chifukwa choti they cannot accept defeat and live with each other after this what is going on just before the election. Thank you.
Nisaname, intra-party democracy, I found out kuti ndio vuta kwambiri than inter-party. Nkhondo yapachiweniweni, yumakhala inake kwambiri. And I'm one of the biggest victims of that from 2021 to date. Kuchira tisachira, tikaluza, olupamene aluzeo. But I wonder, I don't have a clear answer for that, I should be honest. Komano, I think individually, aliyense ambe kunzika kuti ndikakaluza apa like ineo pa first representative 1 to 8. Obviously 7 will fall down. That's obvious, not all of us can win. Of course I'll be the one who will win, that's a fact. Komano, kwansangao, I think abusa amarwanda mlimo muno mupange ka prayer group kupemphera anthu amene akaluze kuti ambuya ndikwakhudza sanga asakalire kwambiri. I've seen my brother Brian Banda is here ndi mbusa so na yeso please muyamboso chakudya kusali anthu amene akuti kuti amwina apena angachire sanga. But anyway, to answer your question, Wanda, is that it's it's going to be hard because the intra-party democracy yaroweraso kuti kuponderezana kuchingana chingana izindizi mapolisi are contradicting the Political Parties Act, even contradicting the actual MCP constitution, but finding something like a constitutional amendment disguised as a policy just to fight other people. It's not on. So I strongly believe there'll be healing. Let's be honest on this one. Thank you very much.
kuti mwapambana ndiye kuti ndikuja kuti makhala kufupi ndi mtsogoleri wa chipani amenenso amatha kukhala mtsogoleri wa dziko ndi mmene zili pakadali pano ngati kuchipani chanu cha MCP. Nthawi zambiri mamembala azipani kuphatikiza MCP amadandaula anthu ino oyandikana ndi abwana kuti ndi amene machinga. Mwina mutasankhidwa pa udindo umeneyo mudzaonetsetsa bwanji kuti access ma views a anthu wamba abwana akwapeza. Number 2, personally mumakhulupirira kunena kuti mtsogoleri wabwino amatha kusokonezedwa ndi omwe yandikira zikumukambira.
Number 2 bajani
kuti mumakhulupirira kuti mtsogoleri wabwino amatha kusokonezedwa ndi amene amuyandikira.
Okay, let me answer it that way. Atsogoleri a North South region achavula komanso anyimba o atabikira umboni unena kuti at times when other people amachinyiriza kumanda president, I have been their bridge. Amimba nunama ngati awanyachenda apa ndi mboni yangazo. So I'm able to do that when chance arises. So it's a matter of just continuing what I was doing. That's why the current engagement strategy, deliberate one, could you know, Pasamakare zo pingana pingana, could win a karengati yesu, could I'm the only way to the Father other than me, but so winner. Pakamaneba Makarata, could you know so Peter President, Minister Office Yakuti. In there, Pamena Kara Domeko, Komano is a Makare deliberate with a wrong intention, your changes are Antoena. That's how I can answer that question. The second one, Yodi Mariane Wade, Sokoleri, Ananka Gare Ajili Mamalemu, may so rest in peace, Kuti, Sokoleri, Amana Mizila, Domus Yandigira, Bongo Wake Makaraguti. Yes, you know, sometimes leaders become oblivious to the truth because people get a hedge around them. I think it's imperative and very important for every leader kumakala ndi njira yomaziwa za background. Malemu bingwa mutalika ena ngati yayo kana chibale yake State House achibale yake. I was one of the people condemning him, but later on, after I've read books of leaders across the world, I've learned that what Bingo was doing was a script written by someone else elsewhere. Bingo jamato tenga chibale yake aja inumugere mini pasi ya nchinji wina karusokoro wina kumambuyo wina kwere ya chitipa wina kwere ya nsanje okusokoro ujaya mbankane mine muja kumaso Bingo usendezi wakanika banchi Bingo wa usiru amine wakumbuye uja azibanga defend kuti no ambone anthu mumene pasi muja aiwankire nkhanicha. Yet they are what? Gathering intelligence kuti pa ground pali banchi. And those people both chibale yake afuna kuti Bingo apita kulamula amabwera ndi intelligence kuti kulizakuti. That's why Bingo had intelligence at every level, constituency nduna zimapita kwa Bingo kukana mabozo kuti ndagamba ndachena constituency kuti zakuti. So every leader must realize kuti there is a chance of being hedged away from here on the ground. Now must find a way of removing that hedge by improvising ways of how to get the real information on the ground. The one I've used for bingo is just one of those examples. Thank you very much.
Abakutumbikika ine ndine wezijere wa radio Mzimba
community.
Yes.
Naonga.
Mu kupataura kwenu mutangwira muno nangupulika poza miuso itatu iyo imo mkona tikumvinyani para kuleka kuendera pamoza.
Yes.
Mwango za political, traditional and religious. Imwe para mwaikika mwapika mwai wa kuzakaro wa chivili kwa mulongozi. Muza ikandondo mekoli kuti miuso yose iendelenge pamoza chitukuko chirika kumala pandoa wa short term pai na long term. Yo.
Naonga chomene Dr. Jere. Ngana munamyoyera mbele para. Neka nga mulongozi owachiko mulongozi ninga na vinjero vya kuikandondomeka pa nekaja lekani mkawero kake dangu yakuti tizakhale pasi tose tivikepo ruwana tose pamakani aga kutika tendenge mbu uyu weke pa mahala yake uyu mahala yake kuti kendondomeka kwenerera ya kuti mafumu va mipingo na chipani tende rumoza. So panyinga sore nga wanayo mahala hayo kweni ya kumgenga wanyane vaone poso ni tuweso utu kwa mnyane pamoza tipange chimoza cha kutendele rumoza. Kanande on critical issues of the nation, it's important to call the faith leaders together. Ima pali makani aya. Ma faith leaders, can you discuss mkonambu? Mafumo vitu, can you discuss mkonambu? Lekanangia kulimbele para kuti jarovinyaki vuna kalako boma ndilo kutula Rwanda likuchomene pa kusambizga uyo zamu mafumo. Ndina IYM inkosema kosimberwa. Mbweni kamwana kao kala boma ndilo litia tisa mzingendise. Kwa nimba mtuwaru mwana wa kwamba tamzingendisi mpaka afike ku college pora mwana para wasambile vya development keneskero kacharo vintu bakweneskera charo kuti kama fumu ni ma agents of development background vasambile makora tendele ngelo moza. That's what I was trying to highlight in my manifesto. Thank you very much. Another question please, if there are any.
Thank you. I don't see any hand.
That means the questions we had have been exhausted. Possibly, Honorable, you might have 2 or 3 things to add from what possibly you have already explained, and possibly from the questions from the media. Thank you.
Thank you so much, members of the press. I strongly believe that you are the fourth arm of the government. One key thing I'm going to address is we need to have responsible way of presenting our issues, especially via Jarojitu. We can make or break the president, we can make or break the government depending on the way we report on issues. Let's work together, support the president, understand him, and again, there must be a rapport between government and the press, because you can help government in influencing policy changes by the way you communicate to the masses. So government should take a leading role in engaging the media. There's this thing coming up. How can you help us as the media? How do you understand it? Let them make you understand, so that Makaya Umu, you are able to narrate that properly, so that the people are prepared through your responsible reporting. After this, you are all invited for lunch before we go to the rally. We will be down there. I think Wachipani, let the media first of all have their lunch. Kawachipani itunja ganyavu tingawa timbani ga wanyitu haba. So no, wakamekula mbanyitu kula, or else you come backwards, then they go and set up their equipment kurare. After this, the rest of the members will be allowed to leave, but the delegates from the 5 districts, regional committee members from Lumpia North, and again, North-South regional committee members should remain behind, but it will be to Koskane, otherwise mungantimba makofi yocho mene.
That marks the end of our press briefing today. Thank you.
All right.
Kufuta gongongi tankula danena Chisana Nangazi panda zana lita adati Kwacha achinya matatika Tupira chito Yetukulati kolati Lama lawe Vitumbiko mbanda muona watuka Kupoto Kuna kuima au face the beauty Praise the Malawi